Hello again. Let's start the first lesson on anatomy. In this case, we are going to touch on male anatomy. So I'll show you where to place the main parts of the human body and the main muscles so that you can create your own character. The first we are going to do is to identify the midpoint of the human body, which is the pelvic symphysis, the pelvis, so to speak. Once we identify this point, we're going to start working with other main parts such as the upper body, which is the torso, and the inner body, the legs. Here on the screen you can see that firstly I drew the pelvic cavity, then the thoracic cavity, and after that I'll add the main muscles to form the main limbs. In order to draw the joints, we can use circles as the ones that dolls or action figures have. You can also use as reference a picture of a man, in this case to draw the main parts and the basic anatomy. Once the sketch is ready, let's focus on the main muscles, okay? First, I'm going to draw the trapezius, which is in the neck, and then move to the deltoid in the shoulder. The pectoral muscles go under the deltoid, and there the biceps originate. After that, the triceps. On the attachments tab, I provide you references of anatomy books and links to sites where you can look for the name of the muscles according to their position. Have a look at the video. Under the biceps, we find the latissimus dorsi connecting with the oblique, which is this one I'm drawing now. Regarding the neck and the head, the only muscle we need to take into account is the sternocleidomastoid. It originates at the base of the head and goes to the beginning of the breastbone. In order to draw the hands, pay attention to the 5 fingers and their position. Okay guys, after drawing the upper parts of the body, we are going to draw the legs. So let's begin with the thighs. There we find the quadriceps covering the front of the thigh. Most of these muscle parts would be easily appreciated in a muscle-bound man. Okay, let's do now the lower legs. Okay? As you can see, I'm drawing the calves in the inside of the leg, and then the feet, which are in a frontal position. Guys, bear in mind that the lower legs are kind of tilted. That's why the inside area is a little bit up in contrast to the outside. Okay, once we have the anterior view, we are going to draw the posterior view and the side ones. I'm going to start with the back position, okay, the posterior view. The body structure will be quite similar at first. That's to say, we have the head, the thoracic cavity, and the pelvic cavity. This time, however, we'll focus on the back muscles instead of the front ones, although the structure is quite similar. However, in this case, the feet's position is also different. If you look closely, you'll see they are opener and the tip of the feet is facing outwards. I've also changed the hands' position, and instead of facing up, this time I've made them facing the body. Guys, pay attention to these changes. You can use references if you want. Even you can use yourself as a reference, okay? Great. Before drawing the muscles, I'll give a general shape to the structure, so I'm going to improve it. On the back of the thigh, we find the biceps femoris right behind the quadriceps, and it is attached to the femur. On the back of the lower leg, we find the calf muscles. This time, both parts of the muscle can be appreciated. Okay, what I'm doing right now is just shaping the parts, and I haven't included the muscles yet. So once you've finished marking or highlighting the body parts, you're ready to start with the muscles. How do we start? Well, let's begin by drawing the trapezius, then the deltoid, and link it to the triceps, which is an antagonist of the biceps. Depending on the arm's position, its shape changes. On the back of the lower arm, there's the forearm. The forearm's muscles structure is quite complex. That's why I recommend you to look for numerous references. The anterior view of the skull also differs from the posterior one. For this reason, draw the skull's superior part first. Then, the inferior part, which corresponds to the neck and where the back's muscles start. The backbone originates in the neck and expands down to the coccyx. Make sure to mark the scapula, the vertebral column, and the end of the oblique. The main muscles making up the back are the trapezius and the dorsi. Without the skin, it would be observed that the trapezius expands to the middle of the back, more or less. As you can see, I've also marked the buttock, which is different from women's, who tend to have proportionally thicker buttocks due to higher fat. On the back of the legs, the main muscles are the biceps femori and the calves. So guys, it's for giving you an idea. These are the main muscles in this area. Once the anterior and the posterior male's anatomic parts are ready, we are going to work with a lateral view. Guys, keep in mind that in this case the view will be significantly different. That's why I recommend you to have a reference of men bodies at hand. It can be either a picture or a drawing. Guys, be careful when drawing the torso. It's a bit tilted forward and the chest cage is slightly backwards. It could be said that it has a pear-like or peanut-like shape. The leg originates in the hip and extends down to the thigh, calf, and the foot. In this lateral view, we see that the femur is tilted backwards and the tibia and fibula slightly forwards, bearing the body's weight. It remains the foot, which lays horizontally on the ground. Remember that to get a balanced structure, the neck and the ankles need to be aligned. Cool, let's draw the muscles now. As I mentioned before, the trapezius expands down to the middle of the back approximately. The anterior part of the character, the torso, is formed by the pectoralis and the abdomen. Now I'm going to draw the deltoid, triceps, and biceps in a suitable and proper position regarding the lateral posture, this lateral pose, okay? As you can see, depending on the posture, muscles are different. You need to bear in mind that when moving or flexing a part of our body, some muscles contract and others relax. That's why I recommend you to observe your body on a mirror and see what happens to your muscles when you move. You can also look for references of anatomic models. Regarding the legs, I'm going to make them just like the others. Well, guys, this would be the result of drawing the basic muscle structure of a man. So, great. Now that you know how to draw a male's anatomy in general terms, in the next lesson we'll be working with the female anatomy. We'll have a look at the differences between them regarding the muscles and the anatomic structure. Hope you liked this lesson and see you in the next one.